Welcome back. This is episode 2 of the Always
and Forever Podcast.
Yes, babe.
We are back with episode 2 and we are super excited about it.
And what are we discussing?
we are discussing how we met. So we said in last week's episode that we will be discussing how we met, and we are finally here to...
It's a big one, babe.
It's a big one. It's our love story. Of course, it's a big one, Papa.
Very significant.
It's very significant, yeah.
How many years now running, babe?
It's like I said last week. It's been 13 years. It's a lot of years of our lives.
Yeah. Babe.
So,
do you want to go first? I want you to go first.
Do you want me to go first?
Go first, because you make it very spicy.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys can remember back in the day, there was BlackBerry. And the first BlackBerry that came out was the
8520.
8520.
Yes.
So just when the phone came out, my dad bought me one. And I don't know what I did, but then my dad took the phone away from me for 2 months.
Grounded.
I was grounded for 2 months and he took my phone away. Within that 2 months, one of my best friends actually got a BlackBerry as well. So how BlackBerry worked, there was this chatting app called BBM, and you had to had like someone's PIN.
Yeah, no, because every phone that they released came exclusively with a PIN.
With a PIN.
For that phone.
For that phone, yes. And I can remember within that 2 months, she would always say, I have this PIN that I need to give you. I have this PIN that I need to give you. I feel like you and this guy are just going to gel very nicely. She didn't want to tell me who you are. She didn't want to say what your name is. Nothing. She said, no, you'll find out on the day.
Yeah, bro.
And finally, when I got my phone back, she gave me that PIN. And I remember it as a Thursday afternoon. I know it was a long weekend, and I know you remember it as a Friday.
Yes.
I have no explanation for that, but in my mind, I remember it as a Thursday afternoon. And I was...
You're right, actually. It might have been a long weekend.
It was a long
weekend.
Yes,
you're right. Yeah.
Yes. So I was spending the weekend over by her house. And round about late afternoon-ish, she finally gave me the PIN. And I put the PIN in and I invited you on BBM. So at the time, my profile picture was a little doggy. I had a little doggy at the time. So that was my profile picture, and your profile picture was Manchester United at the time.
The time they were still playing good.
Yeah. And we started talking and we started chatting to one another, but the conversation was so good. It was dry because you had dry jokes at the time.
Yeah, it was baie droog.
It was baie droog, but there was just something about you, and there was just something about how we were chatting with one another. And I can remember you asking me, okay, so we've been chatting for a good 2 hours now. Please send me a picture so I can know who I'm talking to. So I was like, no, because I'm a good girl. I was like, no, unfortunately, I don't send my pictures around, but I would
strangers.
But I would also like to see who I'm talking to, because my friend has been talking about you for 2 months.
Yeah.
So what we can do is let's change our profile pictures at the same time. We chose a time and then we changed our profile pictures.
It was 9 o'clock. I think it was 9 o'clock.
Really?
But yes.
9 o'clock.
9.
Say no net soos hy vir nou.
No, Cinderella slipper 9.
Anyway, we changed our profile pictures, and let me just say, I freaked out. Because Chizzy was always this guy that I would see on my way to youth, literally every Friday. It felt like a movie playing over and over and over again. At the time, he was driving his mom's black Gets.
Yes.
And he always had this black Nike short on.
The Batmobile.
Yes. And every time I would see him, it would be on the same exact spot, getting out of the car like a movie star. It's like this long, tall, beautiful, handsome guy. And as you guys know already, we have like a 6-year gap between us. So at the time, I was like, dude,
you were very young.
I was
very old.
No, man, come on. I was like, yo, this guy is way out of my league, right? And also, because you were older than me, I was like, yeah, no, it's never gonna happen. But God, you make beautiful people. Your people are beautiful. And when I saw that it's actually you, and I could not believe it because we were chatting so liquor at the time, I literally freaked out. I was like, oh my word, oh my word, oh my word.
Yes,
and my
babe.
friend was like, I knew it. I knew you guys would just click immediately.
Yeah.
So that is like my first,
That was your first instance.
yes.
Yeah.
What was yours like on that day?
Okay, the day, like, I saw you once,
Yes.
and it was while we were practicing football. I was playing
At the stadium.
At the stadium, we were playing, practicing. I was just doing it for fun. I wasn't
Yeah.
really good at it.
Yeah.
So I
Just
was
having fun
doing,
with the boys.
So I remember that day you were walking with one of your friends.
Yeah.
I think you came to visit her, or you were just taking a.
Yeah. So one of my friends actually used to stay close to the stadium.
Yes, so
and
that
we
was
didn't
the-
want to take the long route, so we actually walked through the stadium.
That was the shortcut.
Yeah, that was the shortcut. And I can remember I was wearing a skirt and you said something about legs.
I just saw legs, and I wasn't talking about my legs because my legs are very skinny. I
Yeah.
saw you, and then when I asked, I was like, guys, who is this? Because you were not very well known
No.
at that time.
No,
like,
no,
so
no, not
in my
popular
mind,
at all.
in my mind, I was like, okay, maybe this person is only visiting, or it's somebody from
Another Cassie.
another location.
Okay. I used to get that a lot though. I used to get that a lot.
But then I think that was part of why I found you interesting, is that intrigue of the unknown. Like, you were not well known.
Oh, so you like nuwe gesiggies.
Nee, soos okay, nie waar gesag. But it was like that elusive thing of like, I have not seen this person around. Like, who is this? Like, and even when you ask, nobody knows. Yeah, so I think that intrigue, I found it very intriguing. I was like, over here now.
Okay, and on the day that you saw, it was me. Like, how was your day? Because I now said, like, how was my day? I was at my friend, and we were doing like a sleepover for the weekend. Like, where were you on that day?
I was it was a weird time in my life where I was just adjusting to work life. I
Yeah.
was becoming a young adult and going into that. I was still doing my learnership that time, so it
Yeah.
was a thing of trying to balance partying and going out and balancing, actually
Work as
studying
well.
and all that. So I was just at home when
Yeah.
I got the invite. So I was like, "Who's this?" Because
Yeah.
I saw the dog.
Were you
on the
actively
profile.
dating at the time or not? Were you actively dating at the time or not?
It was a weird time.
It was a weird time, okay.
Where I didn't want to commit to anything. That's all I want to say.
Okay.
I wasn't committing to anything, but there was possibilities for dating.
Yeah,
but
at the time.
I was still a bit reluctant because I had to figure out my own stuff first. Yeah. So when I got that invite, I saw a dog on the profile picture. I was like, no, man, this can't be right. Who's this dog? And it's like those I don't know the name of the dog, but it's
Yeah.
like those dogs where it's like not those dogs where you keep outside. It's the
Yeah,
dogs
it was
that
like
need,
a house doggy.
yeah, house doggies. So I
Yeah.
was like, this must be somebody from the suburbs.
Yeah, oh no. Oh no, definitely not the suburbs. Or near.
Yes, and like I said, babe, I was intrigued.
Yeah.
And the moment you changed the profile picture, I was like, wow.
It's her.
It's this girl I saw, and I didn't think I would be chatting to her.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it was like,
Because we walked past one another once.
yeah, when we walked past each other, there
And
was
we
no.
just looked at
it was
one
just
another
a glance, and
and
it was like,
We didn't even greet one another.
no, we didn't. It was just like a glance, and it was like, okay, interesting, and then kept walking
Yeah.
different directions.
Interesting. That's all for you. Like when I walked past you, I was like, yo, do I say hello? Do I not say hello? Like what do I do? Like, yo, I'm so close to this human being. Like, you were always like, for me, you were
Yeah.
always like this masterpiece, man.
And you
You know?
see, that is the thing is like I didn't even know that because when I saw you, you didn't give off
Of course,
anything.
I'm not gonna
It
give
was
that
like
off. Oh, you
when I saw
man.
you, you had this facial expression like, "Can I greet? Am I gonna greet?
No,
Shouldn't
I'm
I
not gonna
greet?" I
show
was
you that
like,
I'm head over heels. No, I
So I
have a
was like-
poker face, man.
so I was like, "Should I greet? Should I not greet?" And I was like, "Okay, no, let me not greet." But I didn't
Yeah.
know that's how you felt. So that was the moment where, when somebody invites you and
Yeah.
you chat to that person, and it's organic.
It's organic and
it
it's like
just
a moment that
flows.
you can't explain because
Yeah.
we did not stop chatting with one another. The conversation continued, and it was one of those things that the first thing in the morning, we would chat with one another throughout the whole day.
Yes.
Even late at night. We would
You would- you
we
would-
would constantly talk to
You
one
would
another every
definitely
single day.
lose track of time.
Definitely lose. We did. We lost track of time.
Yes.
The only important person on my socials at the time was you. Like I was
Yeah.
chatting to you every single day. So because I was very young, obviously we couldn't be together at the time because I was open with my age and he was open with his age. And I think the one thing that I loved even more about you is the fact that you respected my age
And where we are.
and where we are. You respected the fact that I'm still young. We can't be together now, but we were still in each other's lives, but we weren't together.
Yeah, there was that we were chatting to each other. There was that interaction.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
that. So before actually we got to that conclusion, we were like, okay, so we really enjoy one another's conversation so much. We have to meet in person
And
for the first time.
What that being said is,
Yeah.
sometimes back then you would chat with somebody, but when you meet each other in person, there will be like a type of disconnect because like we chat nice,
Yeah.
but when we meet each other,
Yeah.
things
Because
don't
some
add
people
up.
hide behind social media.
And remember that back then,
And they're not that person in real life.
back then social media wasn't even a thing.
It
You
wasn't
didn't,
even
you
a
didn't
thing.
have YouTube and whatever, so it was still
Well, America had, we just didn't have.
yeah, we didn't have access at that
Yeah,
time.
no. We didn't have. We
So-
had the app on our phone, but we
But we
couldn't,
couldn't use
yes,
it.
It was a horrible time, man.
It was very bad.
Yeah, no. We are from South Africa.
So then it was one of those things where you would actually chat with somebody, but the only way you will actually know somebody
Yeah.
is when you meet them in person.
Yeah.
So we scheduled a meet up on a Friday afternoon. It was September.
Yeah, definitely. That
Yeah.
we can agree upon.
It was September. It was September, babe.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
It was late in September.
So it was that point where it's still a little bit cold, but it's getting hot.
It's getting hotter
Yes.
at the time. Yes.
So we scheduled it for that day.
Yeah.
And then
Funny story, actually. Funny story
I wanna hear your
about.
side about
Listen,
it.
Lou. Funny story, actually, about the day that we decided, okay, we are gonna meet up for the first time.
yes.
So, obviously, meeting a male for the first time is nerve-wracking, right? For a woman. But for me, I was just like,
No,
I
but-
can't wait.
Yes, but for a guy it's the same because
Really?
for a guy it's a thing of like you don't know what to expect, so you're also a little bit nervous in your mind. You're like, yo,
But this meeting has to happen, though.
He's like, am I gonna say the right thing? Like,
Yeah.
am I gonna say the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Will this person like me? Do I look like I look in the pictures? Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's big.
Okay, so you can take a good picture, but when you meet somebody in person, it's something completely different.
Yeah, it's something completely different.
Because somebody can be like, you take good pictures, but
Yeah.
what's happening here? Is this,
Like, you
am I
don't look-
being mugged?
Exactly. So,
Yes.
my sister actually knew him.
Ooh.
Before, yeah, my sister actually knew him before I got to know him.
Very
right?
bad. Very bad.
And they did not have a good relationship with one another. My sister didn't like him. They
Because
used to,
I was like, it was my making a lot of jokes era.
Yeah.
Everything was just a joke.
Yeah, and she
I
didn't like.
take anything serious.
Yeah, so my sister used to catch her transport at the same corner that he would catch his taxi, and he would always make like stupid simple jokes. And if you know my sister, like small talk is just not for her. So Chizzy was just this irritating guy for her.
I was
And
annoying.
you were, yes, to her, very annoying. And because like after like at home we had a lot of chores, and
Yes.
I obviously now needed her to do my chores at home, so I had to be honest with her
To free up some time.
free up some time. Also, if I get home late, I need you to cover for me as
Yes.
well. So I had to be honest with her, and I'm like, look, I am meeting up a guy today for the first time, so I need you to cover for me. Also, I need you to do my chores at home. And she wanted to know all the details, and I told her the details, and she literally freaked out.
She was like, there's no way.
She was
that
like,
you're
there's
meeting
no way
this
that you're
guy.
going to go see this guy. I'm gonna tell mommy I'm not going to.
Because this
I'm not
is
gonna
the
cover
worst
for
type
you.
of guy you can
This
find.
is the worst person. Like
Yeah.
her words was, hy's ongeskik. I was like, I hear you, I understand you, but like I really need to go meet this guy. Like nothing that you are possibly saying now is going to stop me from meeting this guy. So on the day, me getting to, meet you,
Yeah.
it was a rough start. And I can remember I was still busy dressing, and she kept incoming, and she's like, jy gaan nie die doen nie, jy gaan nie die doen nie, jy gaan nie die man gaan sien. And I was like, I really need to go. Like there was just something in my heart. It was like,
This needs to happen,
This
yeah.
needs to happen. I need to go see this guy. Like what you were saying and what I am experiencing,
It doesn't
1
add
+
up.
1 is not 2 right now. I need to go see.
And the thing
meet
is,
this
like, I
person.
can relate to that because, like, the time that she knew me,
Yeah.
I was this type of person. And the time that we
You
started
were also
chatting.
no. That time you weren't a young adult. You were still a teenager, also. So you were like a boy being a boy at
Yeah,
the time.
no, I was in high school,
Yeah.
and I was.
So she remembered that, Cheesy.
She remembers that version of me,
Yeah.
and then, like I said,
And this is
I
now
was.
a couple of years later, though.
This is a couple of years later, where I
Yes.
was a completely different person. So
yeah, becoming a young adult, like you say.
I looked at the world differently. So
Differently,
not
yeah.
everything was a joke like it was that time.
Yeah.
So-
And you weren't as annoying anymore.
But I guess that's part of growing up.
Are you still annoying?
Sometimes. Yes, babe. And then the meeting finally happened.
Yeah, so the meeting finally happened. I finally got it right to actually leave the house, and she actually covered for me. And
Yes.
I can remember wearing a gray legging at the time
Yeah.
on our first meeting, and my stomach was in like a pit. I had like the spit in the middle of my stomach. I was so nervous, but
Yeah.
so excited at the same time. And we actually met up at
There's this park. Yeah.
there's
The
this
park
park in
in Gelukzaal,
Gelukzaal,
yes.
close to the Nuns.
Yeah,
it was
like-
a beautiful park at the time. It's not, our bench is not even there anymore,
Yeah.
which is
the whole-
very sad.
It's very
because
sad because the whole place is like vandalized.
the
now.
whole place is vandalized, and every time like we would drive past that park, we would always look at our bench because
It
that
was
our
that spot that we can reminisce and say, you know what, there's our bench
where we met for
where
the
we
first
met for
time.
the first time. Yes.
Yeah, so as I was taking the corner around the Nuns, making my way to the park, you were also just making your way to the park.
I was actually waiting for you there by my aunt's house.
Really?
Because when I told you I'm there and like I couldn't see where you were.
Yeah.
I didn't know from which way you're gonna come.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this happening? Are you
Am I ghosting you?
are you gonna that time it wasn't even
It
called
wasn't
ghosting.
even called ghosting. It was
So,
just,
but-
what was it called back in the day though?
I can't remember, but I know it's called ghosting now. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, I'm being punked. Yeah, this is serious ghosting.
Yeah.
So when I was actually sitting in their living room and I saw you coming around and then I saw the message come through. I was like, okay, let me get up, let me go.
Okay, I didn't see you actually coming out of their house.
Yeah,
like out of their yard.
because you were terrified.
Yeah, I just saw
So
you
you were
walking
just-
up the road.
Yeah. So
making your way.
I could see you staying and I could see there was a little bit of uncertainty.
Yeah.
But then when you saw me and I
Yeah.
saw you, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not happening. It has
Yeah.
already happened.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I think for me it was just like
Yeah.
I just want to make sure like I'm meeting the right person.
Yeah, because catfish.
Yeah, it's a real it's a
You don't
real
wanna get
thing.
catfished.
You don't want to get catfished, and also you don't
Yeah.
So I was just like making sure that I'm meeting the right person. And when I saw you walking up and I started walking up, oh my word. That was insane.
And like I said, was that thing of seeing a picture of somebody and meeting
Yeah.
somebody in person. Like
It was exactly the same.
yeah, when I met you, I was like, wow, this is the person that I'm
Yes.
chatting to, and like there's no catfish.
Yeah,
There's
there was
nothing
no-
like that.
yeah,
So and I
no.
think that made it even better is like how we started chatting and
Yeah.
meeting each other.
Yeah.
It was almost the same. It just felt organic.
It felt organic, and the weirdest thing was the moment we saw each other, the conversation just continued.
Yeah.
It's like we just knew one another. I was nervous. I had this butterflies in my stomach. I had this whole knot inside of my stomach, but at the same time, it just felt like I know this person. I feel comfortable
Yes.
with this person, and our conversation just flowed. We just had a really, really good time sitting
It
together
felt like
on
the
bench.
when the way we were chatting just
Yeah.
made the transition over into us.
And that
meeting.
was nice because, like we said, sometimes chatting with a person and then meeting the person in real life, you're like, okay, maar die persoon is dan nie dieselfde in die regte lewe nie.
It doesn't add up.
It
yes.
doesn't add up. But for us, it was like exactly the same. You made the same dry jokes.
Yes.
In person as well. In
Yes.
person as well. And I think I was my bubbly self.
No, there is no way.
Really? I wasn't.
You were
I
not-
was shy?
No, you were very shy and you were not talking a lot. I was doing most of the talking.
Yeah, but I feel like I still had my personality though. I
Yeah,
didn't?
you did have it, but you were very nervous. And it was a thing of like, jy doen meeste van die praatwerk.
Ik doe meestal van die praatwerk.
Ek.
Jy het meestal van die praatwerk
You
gedoen.
told yourself, I'm like, yeah, jy praat die hele tyd.
Yeah,
nie.
my babe.
Yeah.
And that is what people don't know. You actually do talk a lot. Like people just see me talking a lot. Like you talk a lot. You're the one that talks the most at home.
Yeah, no, I do talk a lot. Sometimes I talk too much.
Sometimes you talk too much.
Yes.
And that's how we met. Like that's how we
That's where that is basically the starting point of
That's
everything.
the starting point of everything. After we met, like we said, we had our age different, and he actually told me that I think that just made me fall in love with this guy so much more that I like you a lot and you're very beautiful, but because your age right now,
Yeah.
I have to be respectful of you, and only when you are done with school, then only we can see if we can have a relationship. But now,
even like I said, you don't know how things pan out because
Yeah, no.
you might meet somebody in that time. So us meeting was basically a meeting.
it was just a meeting at the
But-
time, and we were best friends. We
Yeah.
were best friends for a good 2-3 years.
2-3 years.
Yeah,
Yes.
2 to 3 years.
But then the thing was, we met each other that day.
We
and
met
we
each
only
other.
saw that was the time we were seeing each other maybe once a year.
in the
after that.
first year, we only saw each other once.
Second year it was, I think, maybe just twice where we.
Yeah, and I can remember I beefed you in the second year. I was like, bruh, I miss you. Like,
Yeah. Where are you?
Where are you? Why don't you come visit me? Like, I'm gonna tell my mom and them. And, like, my mom knew. I was always open with my mom. So my mom
Yeah.
always knew about you. And my mom knew that we were friends and I was chatting with you. So I was like, "Kung kaya my biki, like I know, we're not
Yes,
dating and all these kind of things, but
and the thing
you're
is,
still
like-
my friend. Kung
And like,
kaya."
if you hear this whole thing and the story now of us
Yeah.
meeting, like at that meeting point in
Yeah.
our lives, like it sounds like the perfect fairy tale of it. happening at that moment, like it happens and we're together and now we're still together. And
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that.
And it wasn't like that because
we first had to be friends.
yes, because after that first meeting, like we were in
realized
each other's
that we couldn't
lives.
be together at the time.
We were in each other's lives.
Yes.
We were chatting, but
Yes.
we also realized that, you know what, this person is doing their own thing there.
Yeah.
I'm doing my own
And
thing.
our
Yeah.
timing to be in a relationship at the time is just not now.
The timeline didn't work out.
The timeline at the time didn't work out.
And
no.
funny enough, at that moment, you didn't see a relationship happening.
No, I didn't see a relationship happening. Obviously, I mean, like I said, we have
Yes.
the age between us. So I was like, one, I'm young, two, you are older, and it felt like you felt like a very good best friend, big brother type of guy at the time.
And I think the first meeting was more of like a realization that me and this person, we are at two different points in our lives at that exact moment.
At that exact moment, but
the meeting was very nice.
The meeting was very nice. And we knew that we were not going to let go of the friendship. That is the one thing that we realized. We will not let go of the friendship. There will just not be a relationship at the time.
Yes.
So it was only, I think, in the third year.
It was in the third year.
I think it was only in the third year when we actually started seeing a little bit more of each other.
It was definitely in the third year. I think it was a thing of like we started seeing each other on a more frequent basis.
Yeah.
I think that's when things started clicking and falling into place where it was like, okay,
yeah, because
this thing might actually, it can work.
It can work
Yeah.
because now we were like, we talk every day. Like, we have so much in common.
And I mean, if you think about it, since the first time we met, there was so many trials and tribulations in between before we actually got to the moment where we started seeing each other again. Like, I almost messed everything up because of what happened. Remember what happened?
Oh, with my matric farewell.
With your matric farewell.
So yeah, no, we have to. It's part of how we met. It's part of how we met.
Yeah.
So finally, I think in my third year, I was now matric, and I asked him, because now you're my friend and you're my best friend and you're a beautiful, beautiful best friend.
Yeah.
So I asked him if he would go with me to the matric farewell. And he said no. That is for kinders. I was like,
no, I didn't say. I didn't say it's for kinders, babe. I just said that. I can remember. I said I didn't go to mine.
Yeah.
So I don't see myself going to another one because I missed mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think I just felt like
I'm taking it as that.
Yeah, I'm taking it as that because, I mean, you are way older than I am, and I'm asking you to go with me to a matric farewell. I mean, you haven't been in matric for so long, so why would you want to go to a matric farewell? So I was like, okay, I respect that. But the one thing I really wanted him to do
was to be present.
Was to be present and come meet me, before I actually go to the event. So I waited for this guy the whole entire day. I was late, like an hour and a half to my own matric ball, busy waiting on you. So I went with someone else, and that person was early to my matric farewell, and he kept on asking, when are we leaving? But I wasn't giving him an answer. In my head, I was like, I'm waiting for someone else to come meet me, and just kom net en sê net jy like mooi, geniet jou dag, and I just needed my best friend to pitch up.
I remember, I can't explain why, but I remember that day specifically, I just kept making excuses as to I can't make it or something has come up. And then
God's plan. Listen, this was God's plan.
I went to a chill place.
Yeah. That time it was called The Lounge.
It was called The Lounge. It's a legendary place.
Yeah. It was a legendary place.
It was.
Yeah.
Still is in my mind.
Okay,
the
cool.
way I remember it.
All right.
So
that's for your generation, though.
So I decided, you know what? I actually wasn't even planning on going there on that day. It was just a thing of we were chilling. I was chilling with the guys,
Yeah.
having a few drinks, playing PlayStation, and then on our way back home, I was like, you know what? Let's just go pop in here and see what the vibe looks like.
Yeah.
And in me popping in there, just chilling there, and then
All hell broke loose.
all hell broke loose because the lady of the hour showed up.
So what happened
And what I can tell you guys, it was a all out stare down.
No, it was war. It was war. So
It
what
was
happened
war. It was like eye contact, but it was like
I was mad. I was furious.
it was like I'm looking for you the whole day, and this is where you are.
Exactly. So this is how it happened.
If
Actually,
looks can kill.
I was mad. So went to my matric farewell. It was boring. My matric farewell was boring. And I told my partner, let's leave. We went home, we got changed, and my mom actually gave me a bank card at the time. To just enjoy the night.
Yeah.
And we were looking for a bank at the time. And I think my partner said that at the lounge there's a bank.
Yeah.
And I think he also had a bank card with him at the time, and he said, okay, he's gonna go in and draw
Yes.
money first. And I think his phone was left in the car. So the lounge wasn't a place that I would go to, right?
But it wasn't a place that interested
It
you
wasn't
at
a
all.
place that I wasn't
Yeah.
interested in like going to the lounge. So even like putting my foot inside of the lounge it was just not my thing to do.
Yeah.
Right. And not that I haven't been there before. I've been there before, but I can literally count on like one hand how many times I've been at the lounge.
Yeah.
So he left his phone in the car, and his phone kept on ringing, and it was his mom. And the first time I ignored it, the second time I ignored it, and the third time I was like, okay, let me just go inside, go give him his phone. As I'm walking into the lounge, this human being is sitting with his brother and one of his friends as well. And I'm looking at him, and I stared him down, and I was like, how dare you, my best friend, not pitch up?
It was one of those instances where you would feel like, yo, you know what, the world can swallow me whole.
I was so mad. How do you not pitch up on the day that I really want you to pitch up? And all I wanted you to do was just come give me a hug and say you're like mooi geniet
And then you can go.
And then you can go. That's all I asked. I asked for 5 minutes of your time. I looked at him, I turned around, and I walked out. So how BBM worked at the time, when you delete a contact, it disappears. It disappears from your phone, and it disappears from the next person's phone.
And the only way you can chat to that person again is if they accept
your invite.
And remember, WhatsApp also just started.
And I don't think I was a WhatsApp girly at the time.
No, but we invited each other on WhatsApp.
Eventually you send a message on WhatsApp.
And then you deleted me on everything.
And then I deleted him on everything. Facebook,
BBM.
number, BBM. I was like, I'm done with you. You do not do that to me. You don't do that to me. You are not my best friend for 3 years. And on the one night I ask you to be there for me, and you're not there for me. I was done.
Yeah, that wasn't one of my finest moments. And actually,
it was the moment.
I actually say this a lot.
Yeah.
You know, that the exact moment where things clicked wasn't when we met the first time on the bench.
It was when you lost me.
When that happened.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like that saying sometimes is the truth when they say you don't know what you have up until it's gone.
Yeah.
So I got home and was like, okay, that just happened.
Yeah.
So the moment I went on my phone, I was like, group.
She's gone.
Everything is, I'm deleted.
Yeah.
I'm gone. I'm not here. And I think that realization of that moment was like, yeah, you know what? I really messed up here. And I told myself that
I need to go fix this.
Because it was a moment for me where I was like, you know, in life, you can't just go around and, you know, things don't work out, because it might eventually become a trend where you're like, am I going to treat everything like this, or am I going to do something about it?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, I need to fix this immediately.
Yeah.
And I just showed up.
So
I just showed up, and
the story continues.
Yeah, the story definitely continues.
The story continues. So, my
But
matric
I phoned
farewell. No, wait. My matric farewell was in October.
Yeah.
So that time I was already of age because I turned 18 in March. But I still had my finals.
Yeah.
My finals was just after my matric farewell. But on the 19th of October, we will never forget it because my sister just went into labor that morning. So
Yeah.
I was at home, my sister was at home, and my mom was at home, and my sister goes into labor. So my sister is slowly actively getting pains.
Labor pains
At
kicking in,
home.
yeah.
But we now decided, okay, we're not going to go to the hospital as yet. Only
Yeah.
when things progresses, then we'll make our way to the hospital. So me and my mom and my sister, we are busy. We were just sitting in the
Yeah.
lounge at the time. You did not call me at all. We only heard a knock on the door. You knocked on the front door.
I knocked on the front door.
You
yes.
knocked on the front door, and my mom was like, is anybody expecting someone? We're like, no. I was like, it's fine, I'll go.
You thought it was a doctor.
What's a doctor? Sing jy met jou droë jokes?
Delivery at home.
No, man. Anyway, so I was like, it's fine, I'll open the door. I open the door. Yeah, this person is.
As much as you were angry.
Listen, I've never told Chizzy where I stay. In the 3 years of being friends, I never told him where I stay. He never came to my house. We were only.
We never met each other.
It never got that deep that
No.
you came to my house. I knew where you were staying, and apparently you knew where I was staying, but
Yeah.
we never went to each other's houses.
Yes.
And as I opened the door, as much as I was angry at him, I was like, hello.
Yeah, the timing was perfect.
The timing was perfect. I tried to still be mad at him, but I immediately started smiling, and he immediately started smiling, and you started apologizing.
Yeah, so I decided, you know what, let me do the right thing.
Yeah.
And just apologize for
Yeah.
my poor behavior.
Very poor behavior.
Yeah, it was very poor. It
Yeah.
was poor.
But you know what was funny about your apology? You were apologizing, but at the same time, you were telling me that after me writing my exams, then we are together. I was like, excuse me? Are
And-
you telling me we are together?
and you know what?
I haven't even forgiven you yet.
You know what? And with me telling you that,
Yeah.
it still didn't happen.
It still didn't happen.
Because, like-
but the audacity you had to come tell me that.
Because we literally only, if you think about it now, we literally started actively seeing each other only the next year.
The following year in June.
I think from March, April,
Oh yeah.
we started seeing a lot more of each other. But even then, after the apology, it just went back to chatting again.
Yes, because my sister went in labor on that day and we went back to chatting. I obviously had to now concentrate on finishing my finals.
So actually when we talk about this thing now, when we look back at it like this,
Yeah.
it wasn't just something that happened and okay, it's happening now.
Instantly.
It's like, if you think about
was
it,
a
it took
build up.
years.
It took years.
It did.
Yeah.
Moments where you thought okay, this might be the moment
Yeah.
now. It wasn't the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that
I was even dating in the time in those 3 years.
Yeah.
And he knew about it. And I would always because he's my best friend at the time, as I thought.
Yeah.
Right? So I would always ask relationship advice from him because he's older than me, he's wiser, and you're my best friend, and he gave me really good advice. It's only now that I realized that the advice you gave me was actually to benefit you. He doesn't see it that way.
There is no way I'm gonna argue about that non-stop.
The one thing,
Because I can say it's if somebody calls you their best friend, you're supposed to give the best advice.
You gave really
that you
good
can.
advice.
But then,
There's one, you know why I would always say that? Because you gave really good advice and you gave really sound advice. But always at the end, you would always say, maar, dit wat goed is vir jou, gaan nog na jou toe kom.
yeah.
So that was always like a question mark for me. How are you giving me good advice, but still you are saying, okay, your good is yet to come?
Yes.
Because you knew you were coming.
No, I just had to throw it in at the end.
Yeah, just to...
because there was this thing of like, we knew we liked each other, but there was also that uncertainty as,
Yeah.
is it gonna happen? Is it
Yeah.
not gonna happen?
Yeah.
Am I going?
We were just very respectful of where we
were at certain points in our lives.
Die Engels wil nie deurkom nou nie. We were just very respectful of where one another is at the time.
Where both of us were
At the time.
at that time.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Yes, yeah.
There we go.
Finally.
So I think when we reflect on us and think about it,
Yeah.
like when people see us now, it might be a thing of like, oh, these people, it just clicked when they met each other, and it wasn't.
It wasn't that way.
It didn't go that way. It was a lot
Yeah.
of what ifs and is this gonna happen?
Yeah.
This is not gonna happen. There was even instances where it was like, you know what?
Yeah.
You even told me that you feel like that. There was times where you were like, you know what? I'm just putting too much energy here,
Yeah.
and it's not going anywhere.
I was always an open book. And I was always open with my feelings, right? So as much as I was young, like I said, I always had like this open conversations with my mom as well, and my mom knew about Chizzy, and I would always like tell her, you know, I told him that, you know what, I feel like this towards you, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
and all he would literally say was gravy. I would sometimes, yo, my bro. I would sometimes like tell him, you know, I wish that we met at a different time because I just feel like we connect so well. I wish I was a little older, or I wish you were a little younger. Then things would have been perfect, and we could have been dating and things like that. I would like pour out my heart to him, and he would say, "Pap and vlees as gravy." My word, that used to frustrate me so much. But now I understand that he did not want to. He didn't want to.
I didn't want to fully engage because I knew at that time
It's not right.
the timing is not right.
The timing is not right.
I was still figuring things out.
Yeah.
So I think it was at a point in my life where if it was that we actually were together at that point, things might have not worked out.
It might have not worked out, because you, like you said, you were in a weird space at the time. And it wasn't a time that you wanted to commit at anything. Also, you couldn't commit yourself to me because timing was just not right.
Yeah.
And like you said, only in the following year, around about March, because then December was going on. And around about March is because I was still studying at the time.
Yeah.
I was still studying at the time, and there was a lot of times that I was at home, and you started now working actively.
Yeah.
And I was now a university student.
Yes.
And on your off days,
I would come visit.
now things were starting to get, lekker. Because literally every single off day, he would come to me.
Yeah.
Every off day, religiously, every single off day, he would come to me. It started off with just talking nonstop.
Yes.
And then we were like, no, man, we are actually
We
timing.
are,
Timing is right now,
we are enjoying each other's company.
I'm a young adult. You in varsity. Like,
no, I'm not in varsity. Like,
I was
in varsity.
you were young adult and I'm in varsity.
Yes.
I'm not like a school child anymore.
Yeah.
And you had now, rights to come to my house because, like I said, I was honest with my mom.
Yeah.
And things just started to feel more appropriate to actually be together. And we made it official.
Like I think it was on the 20. It was the 27th of June that year.
On the 27th of June that year.
Yes.
That that day in itself was very weird. That day in itself was very weird because the lounge again. So there was a gig at the lounge and one of my friends actually invited me to this gig. So my mom didn't allow us to go to things like that. Go to parties, go to gigs, go to modelings, loop lounge, all those kind of things. Absolutely no. Nie Esther se kinders nie.
Can I just also say
Yes.
on that note, like I think that was our first time out together.
That was our first.
But I think
Yes.
like the day that made it official
Yeah.
is the first date when we went out.
Yes.
That to me feels more like it was that now was the stamp that made it official.
Yes.
That felt like it was a coming out moment, like, hey, I'm here.
That was basically the
Yes.
27th was our coming out moment, and
Yeah.
our first date was
In
okay.
public,
We are
yes.
together now.
Yes.
So I did not want to go because I was nervous, and I already knew. We kissed a couple of times before,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna see this guy in public, and I don't know how the world is now going to, react. Like
And
I
that-
didn't know. As much as I stayed in Geluksdal, I wasn't out. I
And that
wasn't a
was
girl
like-
that's out.
And it was like public, like
Yeah,
everybody was there that night.
and
Yeah.
my thing is everybody knows you. Nobody knows me, but
Yeah.
everybody knows you. So immediately everybody's going to look because they know you. So they're gonna look at us, and that made me very anxious.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go, and I thought that I can, jiggle this thing by telling my mom, "Mommy, my friend invited me to the lounge."
Yeah.
I'm saying it out there so
Yeah.
she can hear where I'm going. I'm like,
and she can block it.
yeah, so she can block it. She's like, "What? The lounge? No, you're not
Yeah.
going to the lounge." And I was like, "Mommy, my friend invited me to the lounge. It's at night." And she's like, "Oh, okay, my kind, jy's klaar met school. You can now go." I was like, "Excuse me? What did you say?" "I'm going to the lounge, Mom."
She
And
she gave you the green light.
She was like, "Jy weet wat reg en verkeerd is. You know
Yeah.
what to do. Go, behave, and come back home. Call me when you need anything,
Yes.
but go and have a good night with your friend out." I was like, "No, this is not it. I don't think my mother understands you very correctly."
And so after getting the green light,
yes.
I came into the picture. I walked in and I found you there. I was being ignored like I do not exist.
Listen.
I can't explain it.
We eventually
But
got to the lounge.
This guy was saying, come.
He was
come,
cool.
hello, come.
I was
This side.
pretending to talk with my
Yes.
friend's boyfriend, but he wasn't talking to me. He was busy kissing his girlfriend. But I was pretending to have a conversation with him just because I didn't want to go
So
over
you were
to
having a conversation with yourself.
I was having a conversation with myself, and eventually I couldn't hide it anymore, and I
Yeah.
walked over to him, and that night was magical. Like nobody was there. I wasn't in the lounge. We weren't surrounded by anybody. We were just with each other.
I think that is one of those nights where, like, if you watch movies and stuff,
Yeah.
you would know. Like, it felt like, you know what I'm gonna describe it. It's
Yeah.
not like that show, but it felt like Euphoria, where
Okay.
you are in an environment where there's a lot of people, but
Yes.
the camera is like focused on you. Like,
Yeah.
have you seen how they do the lighting of the show?
Yes.
Where it's dark around, but there's a lot of people, but
Yes.
the focus and the lighting is right where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It felt like that moment.
Yeah.
It felt surreal, like a dream state or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that night, we just knew we are going to be together.
And that's basically where our
That's where
date night started.
That's where date night started. So we're
Yes.
also going to make a video on dating. How
the importance of date
the
night.
importance of date night, but also how dating was for me and him.
Yeah.
So before we actually go into more in-depth conversations, we just want to update you guys on who we are, because we've never
Yes.
actually told our story. So that was the night where we knew, okay, this is going to be it. And after that, we organized a date night.
Yes.
And after that date night, things was just, we were just together. There was no turning back.
Yeah.
We were just together. So basically, guys, that was our story of how we met. It's a long story.
And how it became official.
And how it became official.
And the nice thing about this story is why I love the story so much is because
it's not a typical love story.
It's not a typical love story.
No.
And you know that thing of saying love at first sight?
Yeah.
You know, it's not a linear thing.
It's not a linear thing.
It's up and down, and it can go any
it's
direction.
Not just straightforward.
It's not just straightforward. Because you would think that, okay, it just happens this way, and it is that way.
Yeah.
But
the moment these people saw each other, it's the moment they knew they're going to be together, and they've been together ever since. No, it wasn't like that.
It doesn't always work that way.
No.
But the nice part about it is you enjoy the journey.
You enjoy the journey.
Because you get to a point in your life where you can look back at the journey and was like, wow, if this didn't happen, this wouldn't have fallen into place, or this needed to happen in order for this to happen.
Yeah.
So you actually think about life as, you know,
like that matric farewell night had to happen in order for you to realize
that moment where you decided I'm cutting ties with this person completely.
Yeah.
It was a realization for me, like, you know what? Let me learn how to fix things. And I need to fix things because this is a person that I've had in my life, and I don't want to lose that person.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know where we are heading.
Yeah.
But I just know that
I'm going to take this leap of faith.
Yes.
And that's it. That's episode.
And how many years ago is this, baby?
Dis letterlijk 13 jaar terug.
Yeah, that's
letterlijk 13 jaar terug.
To somebody, that's somebody's
whole life. It's someone's whole life.
Guys, this has been episode 2.
This has been episode 2 on how we met.
How I met your mother.
And how I met your daddy.
Dada.
Up until next time, guys, we love you. This is it from us, Marilee and Cesare Roach on the Always and Forever podcast. See you guys in next week's podcast where we will be discussing dating. We will start from our first official date and how dating was for us,
and the importance of date night,
and the importance of date night as well. We love you guys. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye, guys.